What's up, collectors? P-Rozilla back again, and today we're doing a double dipping review. We're going to take a look at two pieces in this review, and the first piece is going to be this one right here, the DX19 from the Dark Knight Trilogy Batman. This box, I gotta say, between this and the Pennywise It are my two favorite boxes from Hot Toys I received so far from the figures. And just the presence of this box, the foil in the front, when you slide everything out, the little piece that you get inside. I love the way they did this, and I hope they continue doing this with the DX series, because some of the DX series of recent times have not really felt like DX, because the accessories were very limited or barely anything worth the DX label. But anyways, we're gonna be taking a look at this figure right here, and also this figure right here. Well, technically not a figure, this vehicle right here, and this is the Dark Knight Rises Bat Pod. I had both. I actually had the Batman first. No, I actually had the Bat Pod first. And it's been sitting around. I felt, I didn't want to do a review without an actual Batman figure, as I don't have any in my collection. This is going to be my first DC from Hot Toys. I have other 6-scale DC figures, just not Hot Toys. And like I said before in other streams and reviews, I'm more of a Star Wars Hot Toys collector. Certain comic book based, and there's not many DC options, so this is a good one to grab. And I do love this vehicle in the movie. And to me, this is the best trilogy of the Batman. Like I said, just my opinion. I understand these new movies are coming out, the Batman with Patterson and everything. And it's so far, alright so far for me. Not the best, anywhere near the best just yet. So, let's get this review started, because I'm super excited to get these figures finally out of their boxes and in my display. Dale. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the box before we get the figure out the box. And I do, like I said before, enjoy this box. You got the foil Dark Knight Trilogy here. You get this beautiful picture of the Batman right here. I keep saying the Batman. Batman right here. You get the DX19 what's the scale figure. Hot Toys DX DC. You flip it to the side. You have another Batman logo right here. Batman Defender of Gotham City. And then in the back, you have all the legal information, as always. And then on the other side, you get the little Dark Knight Trilogy logo. So, you also... Oh, no. Let's go ahead. Let's just slip this out right here quick. So, when you do slip this out, you also do get a nice little slip cover type protection type thing right here. More likely, I won't use this. It does feel kind of cheap. Some people do. Whatever. It's your figure. You do whatever you want to do with the figure. You pay for it. But I'm probably more likely going to just keep this in the box and never bring it out. So yeah, I was correct. This is too big to fit into the frame. So I got to kind of show portions of the box. You get this beautiful picture of the Bat Pod on the street, rain falling all over it. I do like the way that looks. And then if you flip it this way, you get more of the city, the top portion of the city showing. And then right in the back, all that legal information, the same thing as the DX19 Batman figure. And then on the side, you do get, let's move this big boy, Dark Knight Rises. So when you do remove that slip cover with the weird keychain thingy, you greet it with this right here. You get to see the Batman. I like the way this is set up. It kind of hides everything else. And if you can put your eyes directly to the figure, to the head sculpt, and the other cowl. So when you remove this over here, boom, 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 this is what you're greeted with. You have everything in the package that comes with the figure. Get the batarangs, and this is another thing I wish Hot Toys would do more often. The foam. We should definitely always... You're paying premium for these figures. You should have the foam. The foam, to me, looks more premium, feels more premium, and definitely protects the figure a lot more. I have a bunch of TV League figures that have the foam inside. If I'm correctly, all the TV League figures have the foam. And the TV League figures are pricey, but they're not nowhere near as pricey as the Hot Toys. Depends on which one you get. But underneath this layer of the foam, then you greet it with the... right here with the clamshell type thing, and that's just basically the base, the stand, the cape, the batteries, and all the other stuff in there. Tools to move the eyes around, and that's it in the box. So let's go ahead and see what's in the box of the Bat Pod. And here we have what you get when you pull the Bat Pod out of the box. And it's a styrofoam protection cover on there. You remove this top cover, and there you go. You have the Bat Pod, and look at them wheels. You guys know that them thick thighs. There's some thick wheels right here. I like the way that looks. So basically, everything's in there. You got, of course, just some assembly required. And it does have the instructions. I know some people say don't do the instructions, but I definitely recommend using the instructions to put this thing together. There we have Batman laid out with all the accessories that come in his package. And let's take a look at the figure first. And let's look at that chin. That Christian Bale chin. You get the eyes in that thing. They have that glassy type of look. And the eyes are movable. Basically, you will take this off right here. I'm not going to move it, but... And then you take this tool right here. This is a tool to move the eyes. And you will use this tool to kind of punch in those little white circles right there to move the eyes around. But back to the figure. Oh, look. You can see the Adam's apple underneath the costume. That's a little covered when you put the head on. Alright, so let's go ahead. Look at the detail on that cow. Let's look at the detail. Let me put this a little bit brighter so we could get every little detail in there. There we go. You can see the detail on the chest. I kind of wish the bat signal was a little more profound. But you can see detail going all through the costume. And this is like a hard plastic, but then this right here is kind of like a softer plastic with the fabric underneath. So the good thing with the fabric is you shouldn't have issues with any kind of wrinkling on the hard plastic portions. You got the gauntlets here. Not too spiky. You're not going to hurt yourself on this. This is more like a rubber too. You get the detail on the knuckles. The bat belt. I like the paint application on this. It does look like some kind of like a copper type metal. You see the detail on the back. All the rivets here. The shoulder blade pieces. The elbow pads. The culo. All through the pants, you see the little detail rivets there. These are different color tones, as you can see. All the way down to the knee. And look at those boots. You can see here. Look at that detail on his costume. This figure does look a lot better in hand. Alright. So now we see the Batman. Looks just like him. Let's go ahead. And this is what I'm really interested in and intrigued with. The articulation. Because I've heard nothing from other collectors who had the previous release of this. Saying how the figure was basically almost like a statue. So I'm going to see right now. Alright. So the arms can go further. Oh, I already see feel tension right there. That's pretty tight right there in the armpit. You can see right there when I pull it. A little tension right there. A little separation. Alright, so let's go ahead and move the other arm. So Batman can somewhat do a T-pose. It does go right back down once you let it go, see? So that's not bad. The elbows, let's see how far the elbows can go. The elbow is a good thing, like I said. There is no plastic around the elbow. It's all fabric. So you should not... Oh, you get a nice double... Almost... You do get double bend. It's just the armor is hitting, is rubbing, and I don't want to mess up the paint. So you do get a good double bend on there. And then let's try this one right here. Just make sure every joint is working on this guy. And you do get the double bend. And you do have a lot of leeway on the suit right here on the elbow. So you don't have to worry about messing up the suit on the elbow portions. Let's see if he has... Yep, so you have pivot or twist at the... Is that the bicep or the shoulder? I think it's the bicep. I feel like the upper bicep. Alright, then let's see how far... Yeah, see, I can feel already. This suit is pretty limited because he's trying to put the arm forward. And you can see the stitches right there kind of getting some force to them. So that's going to be a little pain in the butt to get articulation. So I could see the limit articulation already on this guy. Alright, so let's see the head. The head is on a magnet, so it's easy to get nice poses on there. And basically you could have his head basically completely back as if he's flying. And then he could look almost completely down. It's just not look weird where the head's coming off. And obviously he could do 360. And do you get articulation in the neck? Yep, so you do get some articulation in the neck. And it looks like it's a separate piece. So should be all set on articulation there, as you can see it moving around. Alright. Get some fingerprint on there. It's kind of warm here today, so I got hopefully not sweating too much on this figure. Alright, so let's see the abs now. So he does barely get twist at the abs, at the waist. As you can see, the costume is moving there. So that definitely is limited articulation. You do get ab crunch, but you see the suit bunching up there. Not a good look. He can look back. All right. So I do see, once again, limited articulation. Now the legs is what I'm interested in because I do want to have my Batman on the Bat Pod. So let's see how far. Yeah. Woo. Can't even get a split. Look at that. Watch this. Watch this. Watch that crotch area. Yeah. Look at that tension. So yep, no splits for Batman. You can see right through the costume. I can see right there. That's how tight that is. I can see right through it. If you look real good, I can see the light reflecting on the other end between the holes. So not too good. All right. Yeah, damn. See, then you try to pull the leg up. You see a bunch up here. And this is where you're going to have issues with that plastic. Maybe causing damage over time. And he can go back a little bit. So not much articulation at the upper thighs. Damn, that sucks, man. All right. So some articulation there. The knees, let's see, the knees are like the elbows, so hopefully the knees don't damage too much as you bend them, which seems pretty good. The only thing I'm worried about is this part pulling right here and a little bit bunching back here. As you can see already, there's an indentation right there. So something to keep an eye on, but he does get a good bend at the knees. So maybe I'm not going to have mine on the Bat Pod. I'll figure out a way to do it. I mean, permanently. I want to have them on my Bat Pod. All right, so do you get twist at the thighs? And you get, nope, no twist at the shins. Oh, yep, you do get a little bit. Yep, so the twist at the shins. The feet can go further up and not really much far down. You do get pivot at the ankles, as you can see there, and you can twist it around. All right, so yep, so unfortunately this Batman is really good to look at, but very limited on articulation because of the suit. So which is one thing that, you know, this is one of the reasons why I don't collect the comic stuff, I mean the DC and MCU stuff too much, because the costumes kind of do limit the articulation. And let's see, the hands, you do get there. Do you get some pivot? Nope, no pivot at the hands, just kind of twisting, and that's it. All right, so we see Batman. Let's go ahead and look at all the accessories that come in the package with them. And then this is the head with the cowl. This is the one that you would put the batteries in. These batteries right here. You put those batteries in there. As you can see, there's a screw hole right here. So you just screw that open, hit the batteries, and you see the switch right there. I will put that in because I do want to have it on one of his final poses and everything. So more than likely, I will give that a try. I'm not sure how it will look in the on the light box, but hopefully you should see some light on it. But let's look at the face real quick. And you do got that freaking, the Christian Bale duck lips. And, I'm definitely not going to have it with this, man. That's, I don't know, I always, it's like he's trying to pose for a selfie. Anyways. And then these mouthpieces are supposedly magnetic. So I don't know if you pop them up back here. I didn't look at the instructions yet. I know you could get them off somehow. I'll figure it out later and I'll show you in the review. But you do get nice detail on the chin and on the cowl. And then we have the Bruce Wayne Christian Bale head sculpt, and this looks just like him. I do admit Hot Toys does excel when it comes to most of the face sculpts, head sculpts. And the hair, the detail in the hair is nice. You can see like the hairstyle going backwards, all of the strands of hair. The eyes have that glossy look. See, look at this. Look at this regular face, then watch the duck lips. Selfie time. Everyday look. Selfie. All right, so let's go back down. Get the head sculpts there. You do get two separate hands. And these look like the ones that you would use for the batarangs. I could be wrong, could be something else, but this one definitely looks like a batarang hand. And then you have the other two hands. More likely this is the one to wield the weapon. Then you get the open hand. Then you get the two separate magnetic chin pieces. So you get the one with more of the green teeth, and then the semi-duck lips with a little bit of teeth. I gotta mess around with these, see which one. These look weird, yo. Look at that. It's like it's upside down, right? How you put it this way, supposedly. Anyways, back to the review. And then you get this tray here. This is a separate neck cowl piece that you would use when you swap out the unmasked head. Which, like I said, my figures are not displayed with the head sculpt. I always have the mask on. If it comes with a mask, I put the mask on because my Batman has to be masked. Bruce Wayne is unmasked. So if I had a Bruce Wayne body, I would definitely use the Bruce Wayne head. Get the batarangs here, the sticky bombs, and then we have the EMP rifle. This has light effect also. So basically, obviously, you see the light switch right here, and you gotta put the batteries in. I'll look at it later, but definitely gonna put the batteries in this. I want to see how bright that is. So more likely, I will turn off the light box lights when I do the light effects for the rifle and for the cowl. Then you have the sticky bomb gun, and this does transform. So I'll show that in a later portion of the review. But you can see here, look at the paint on there, nice and good. This part detaches, and this is how you would transform them. You transform this piece, and you attach them back together. I do like, you have like a little liquid level type looking thing right there. That looks nice. And then you have the grappling gun. Oh, look, oh, that's nice. It does cock back. You get a little cock back action. Nah, that's the wrong type of gun. But this looks good. I like the paint on this. This actually does look like metal, but it's not. Get the little silver there. Very nice weapon. Alright, anything else I missed here? We have the the cape right here. And the cape does go on a special way, and I will show that on the next portion. Actually, I'll probably do it here, but no, the next portion when I show the other pieces. You have the cape there. Stand. Which, like I said, I may not use because I want to keep mine on the bat pod. And then the base. That's the only reason I kept the plastic on the base, because I may not use the base either. Actually, I'll use it for the review, so yeah, I'll take that off. Got the Batman logo right there. Nice steps. Nice DX base. And then last but not least, you have extra pegs. And that is it. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at the bat pod. So when you get the bat pod out of the box, this is basically, it comes fully assembled. The only portions you actually have to assemble are these rods right here. And basically, they will plug in. There's a hole in the back portion of here that you will plug this into. And then this portion right here will clip in. Right a sec, I'm sorry, right here. So it clips in right there. You see that slot right there? There's like a little slot right there. You just clip that in right there. And then this portion just plugs in. There's like a little hole there. It plugs in right there. And that's how you will have it attached. I'll do that later on when I get the actual figure on the bat pod. But for now, I'm just going to go over the articulations and stuff real quick. So there is some articulation at this rod right here. So you can readjust the, where you want to have the pedals at. The handlebars at. That has articulation. The wheels do rotate. The wheels, there's actually a safety pin underneath this wheel right here. I gotta look at it. There's safety pins that are currently installed on the wheels, and you have to pull the safety pins out so that the way the wheels can fully rotate. That's something I definitely, if you have this displayed, I would definitely recommend rotating it once in a while just to keep those wheels from getting flat. And then this portion does remove, and this is where you would basically put your batteries in. Use a screw right here. You take the batteries, put them in there, put this back on. And it goes right there. And then if I flip the bat pod upside down, you do see that on-off switch right there. All right, so not much here, nice detail on this. Let me just pick this up right here, this portion here. I would recommend if you're gonna pick this up, pick it up at the both wheels. Those wires are hanging, there's no tension in there, so nothing's gonna break off. But you can see the beautiful detail on this vehicle. Those wheels are nicely, and they are real rubber. You get to see detail all across the base of the bat pod. Everything's right there. Nice guns, nice paint application on the guns. So it looks good. Looks very good, and it doesn't feel heavy, so it doesn't have too much weight. Most of the weight is on the wheels, so it feels sturdy enough. I would recommend not picking it up from the middle, because you pick it up from the middle, you are going to put a lot of weight on the middle. So I would definitely recommend, if you're going to mess around with this vehicle, pick it up from the tires. Save yourself the headache and just to be safe. All right, so I'm going to reattach everything, and then I'm going to come back and show you guys how to swap out the mouthpieces and how to install the cowl on Batman. Okay, I just want to point out a few things real quick before we move on. If you have the EMP rifle, which you should have if you get this figure, it does attach to this clip right here. So you can have that on there. And then the two pins that were on here were a red pin right here that is like a thumbtack, and then there was like a red hairpin almost that goes underneath here. That's where you would pull out, so that way you can have the bat pod roll around. And also, I am incorrect. The batteries don't come in the package. It actually uses two AAA batteries that you basically, like I said before, you would unscrew and attach in here. So I thought it was the batteries that came with the Batman, but they're not the batteries. You have to get your own AAA batteries. All right, and then like I said, this part attaches fine, and it does attach this portion also too. All right, let's get back to Batman. Okay, so two things real quick. I was wrong about the chin pieces. They are not magnetic. You would basically have to take this piece right here, and you would push this white piece out here, and then that piece comes right out. And then this is basically what you get. And then you take the chin piece that you want to have attached and just push it right in. So there you go. Not magnetic, you just swap out. Then to put the cape on, you have to basically take this clip right here. If you see the clip, there's like that indentation, the engraving right there. This portion down has to go into this slot right here. So for example, I'll go ahead and try real quick. Kind of push that down, and you should push it enough where you feel something clip in there. There we go. And there we go. So there you got the cape on this side. Clips right in, seats in fine, and then just take the other side and do the same exact thing. Just push that in until you feel it get seated in there. There we go. See? There, and it's nice and seated. So that's how you put the cape on. Easy peasy. All right, back to the review. Also, I did forget about the transformation for the sticky bomb gun. So we'll go ahead and do that real quick. So you basically unplug this piece right here. Take that piece, put it down. This piece, you basically just pull out, slide around. This piece slides back, just like that. Then this piece slides forward a little bit right there. This side is all done. Then you take this piece right here, pull that out, and then you grab the handle, push that down, and then push this down. And there you go. You have, well, it should be going straighter. Mine's not going that straight. There we go. Clips right there. So once you have that piece just like this, just reattach it like this. And there you go. Now you have the sticky gun transformed and ready to use. Okay, I promise this is the last interruption before we do the size comparison. One thing I did forget yet again is the back of the utility belt. There's a clip here for the grappling gun. So basically you just slide it right there. And then you can have the grappling gun. If you don't want to have it in hand and you don't want to have it in your box in the basement, wherever you keep your boxes at, you can have the gun stay on the figure and always use it for future reference and future poses. Ta-da! Alright, so let's go ahead and get some size comparison started. I did want to squeeze in the bat pod so you can get an idea of how the bat pod would go in scale with other figures in the 1/6 scale line from Hot Toys and separate lines. So of course we got Batman there also. So let's go ahead and bring another comic book character, and this is going to be the Hot Toys Classic Suit Spider-Man. So there we got Spider-Man in the frame. Let's go ahead and bring in, I may say his name incorrectly, I apologize if I do for the fans out there. This is going to be the 3-0 Garu from One Punch Man. There we got Garu. Now let's go ahead and bring in the Zen Studios Naruto. Naruto! So there we go. 4 figures, 2 from Hot Toys, 2 others from separate lines, all in the same frame with the bat pod. So you get a good idea of how the figure would fit in your collection or in your display if you have any of these figures. Alright, let's go ahead and get the final poses and final thoughts. Okay, so due to the size of the bat pod, I'm very limited on the poses I can have on the turntable. So I wanted to make sure I get a good amount of poses with the bat pod and with Batman by himself on the turntable. So this first pose right here, as you can see, there's a SWAT member who detected Batman, trying to call in for help on the walkie-talkie, and Batman got the batarang ready. You know Batman doesn't kill. So he has the batarang ready to knock the walkie-talkie out of his hands. This pose was pretty simple for me to get Batman into. Um, yes, the articulation is limited, and swapping out the hands was pretty simple. I mean, the only issue is like when you swap the hands out, you got to make sure you grab the gauntlet, pull the gauntlet all the way back in order to get those pegs fully into the hands. But once you do once and you get the hang of it, it's pretty simple. And the gauntlet does kind of not fully flush with the glove, so it kind of does sometimes pull the peg right back out. It's just some little like twinkling, you know, you have to just basically mess around with it, and you can get the basically poses you do want to get. The head on the Batman, I'm reminded for a reason that magnet is not as strong as it should be, because even when I was trying to mess around with the cape, that head kept, you know, kind of bobbling around a little bit and falling off. So kind of wish the magnet was a little bit stronger on the head. But as you can see there, you could get some kind of action poses going on here. And I like it so far. Just wish there was a little more articulation in that Batman. Alright, so I felt like I had to at least get one pose in there with the head sculpt, because the head sculpt is beautiful, and more likely, like I said before, I'm not going to use it in my display. So just for the viewers to kind of get an idea of how he would look with the head sculpt. And I have the cowl in the hand. I know you can still see the little hole in the mouthpiece, but this is the best one, that because the other one has the eyes sculpted into it. So this to me is the best one that you would probably use if you want to have a pose like this with him taking the cowl off. Now, there is some negatives with this figure. The freaking pegs, like the hands, are constantly falling out. If you swap them out, you know, if you rotate something, they're constantly falling out. So that could be a pain in the butt to get on there. My ankles, I don't know if the figure is just loose or not, but the ankles, you know, you do got to do some finagling around to kind of have them balanced right. So I could see him having an issue if you display him in your, you know, you have him displayed without the base. I could see issues of him possibly tilting over. So I would recommend, if you're going to do that, please use the base and the stand so that way he doesn't fall over on you. And then I mentioned like the magnet on the cowl head sculpt is kind of loose. Like, you know, there's a couple of times I'm just moving things around and the head falls off. And there was one other thing I'm trying to recall that I did have an issue with. Good thing a friend of mine brought up the fact that mine does have a little defect on that thigh, on the armor piece. It seems like it's seamed or glued under the crotch area. On the other side, it's not. It's a separate piece. So that's something I do got to be careful when I try to get the pose on the Bat Pod. But other than that, I mean, this figure does look good. It's hard to articulate him. It's a pain in the butt to swap those hands out and get those hands to stay in without, because you can't even move. You can't even, like, basically, you can't pivot at the wrist. You try to move anything at the wrist and the hand just falls right out. So that's kind of a pain in the butt too, that I kind of wish that it was better and a little bit improved. And another thing I noticed is with this figure, you can't really get the whole iconic Batman pose when you have the cape draped over. I'm gonna give it a try. I'm gonna give it a try later on when I try the light features. I'm gonna give it a try with that. But I've tried a few times already, and it just, the way they have the cape, it just doesn't look right. It doesn't sit right. And now we see what happened to the SWAT team member as Batman was able to take him down with the Batarang. And now, you know, Batman doesn't kill, like I said before. So he got the grappling gun aimed to his face, but then he got the bombs on him too. So he's telling the guy, pick your poison, buddy. Pick your poison. I'm Batman. Where is she? That's what he's saying to her right now. So this guy, like I said in a previous clip, he is very restricted on the articulation. This was like a test right here, because when I put the turntable on, there's a few times he kind of tilted over. So I was finally, you know, able to get him in a good pose. And if you notice, I got his foot on the SWAT member's crotch. So I kind of helped out to keep the Batman balanced, so he can get this pose right here. It's like, he is restricted, and it is some work trying to gain into the pose that you would like to want to have him in. And then when you finally have him in that pose, he does look good. It does look like an awesome figure. It looks just like Christian Bale. Looks just like Batman. It's just, you got to put a lot of time and effort into getting those poses and being very careful not to damage the suit. So if you do have the patience, and if you're daring enough to try to get some of these poses pulled off, I'm pretty sure I can get other poses pulled off too if I just, you know, try a little more. But just for the time constraints on this review, I don't want to review being too long. So just getting some poses right here, but I am going to mess around with the figure even more once I'm done the review. But the restriction is almost like, you know, borderline, almost like a statue with this figure. Like the only parts on him that really get good articulation are the arms. Everything else is more just like a freaking a statue, man. You can barely get anything else moved. So that is a negative in my opinion. But like I said, once you give him that final pose or the pose you do want, like this, it looks awesome though. Like he does have a presence in your collection, and he will have a presence in your display. All right, so there we go. We finally got Batman on the Batpod. I tried doing a bunch of different poses, and it is kind of a pain. You can somewhat get it on there, but you definitely will cause damage to that suit. So this was more of a kind of like a museum type pose that I can get him in on the Batpod without causing too much damage to the suit and still have him on the Batpod. The one thing you have to do be careful about is the end of the seat on the Batpod that has sharp edges. So at one point it was sticking into the rubber portion of the thighs, and it was leaving like a little indentation in there. But you know, if he healed by itself, the indentation is left and everything. And also, I have all three of the light effects on, and I gotta say, man, like this was a pain in the ass to get these batteries into the EPM gun and into the cowl. Like I had to bring out tweezers and freaking all kinds of tools to get it in there. At one point, I had the 2 batteries in there. I had to get that 1 battery in there, and I put that 1 battery in, and then as soon as I put it in and let go, freaking all 3 batteries flew out, and like one actually hit me in my forehead. I almost had a Jordan chain situation here where I almost lost one of the batteries, but thankfully I was able to find it. Look at it, the batteries are dying already. All right, let me try something with the lights off. I just want to see something real quick, show you guys of how it lights up. And I do gotta say, the cowl to me was the brightest one, but I can even see now during the review, I just had this on for maybe like 2 minutes, and I can see the batteries dying in the cowl already. The cowl battery, like when I first put it in, it was super bright. Now you can see it's starting to dim out. You got one eye darker than the other, so definitely sucks with the battery power. I'm not sure if the batteries that Hot Toys give us are just cheap batteries. I have other batteries in my storage, so I gotta grab some of them, see if it is the batteries that Hot Toys give us. Maybe they give us like half charged batteries or something. But I'll try that out, and I'll keep people updated if the new batteries kind of keep the light feature longer. But as you can see there, the EPM gun rifle too, like I was kind of upset about that. I thought all of those little like clear pegs were the light up feature, but they don't give you one tiny little light up LED right there on the gun, which is not cool at all because it barely lights up. It only lights up one portion. So what about all the other portions? So I'm pretty upset, or not upset, but kind of disappointed with the light up features on this figure. If I switch the batteries out on the cowl, and like I said, if it stays lit up for longer, then I'll give that a +2. But that EPM rifle should have had more LEDs on it, not just that one little tiny LED slot. For 3 batteries, I mean, I don't know. This figure, like I said in the beginning, it's good figure. I like the figure. Let me just bring my light back up real quick. There we go. I do like the figure. It is kind of a hard one to kind of say for sure, because there's a lot of things that kind of disappointed me on it. One, the battery power. The cowl barely keeps the battery on for long. The frustration of getting the batteries in there. I put all that work to get those batteries in there, and they're already dying. Articulation is another disappointment. I'm trying to think of anything else. Those pegs, man. Even like, maybe it's just mine, but my especially that left arm, like anytime I move that damn arm, the hand just came off, and I had to basically put it right back in. It was like a pain in the butt. The Batpod is nice. I like the battery power in the Batpod, and the fact that it does use 2 AAA batteries, so it should last a lot longer than those little button cell batteries. This like, I was expecting a little bit more with this figure. It does look beautiful, like I said. When you finally keep it and get it in a pose you want, like if someone walks in, they're gonna know right away that's the Christian Bale Batman. No ifs, ands, or buts. I guarantee you. And it does have a presence. The size of the Batpod is bigger than I thought, so that is also a +2. They look awesome together, like the set right here. I'm definitely gonna display something like this. Gonna mess around with the position of him on the Batpod, try and see if I can get away with a little bit more like pose with him, like maybe a leg up or something like that. I'm gonna try it a little bit more and see how that works out. It looks awesome together, but just, I don't know, man. Like, some things kind of disappointed me on this figure. I'm not regretting my purchase. Like, this is my first, and I'm gonna get the other Batman too to go with the tumbler. But just, I love the way this guy looks, and it's accurate 100%. Well, except for the cape part and some of the cowl portions. But it's good. Like I said, this is Batman. It's Christian Bale, and I love the purchase. But there's just a bunch of things that kind of disappointed me with this purchase. And now I know going forward what to expect for these type of Batman. So maybe my disappointment level won't be as high next time, especially for the next one I'm gonna get with the tumbler. And I know they're gonna look good together. I love the vehicles and the whole Batman look. So this is why I had to get the Batpod. But just give you guys a heads up, if you plan to get this Batman, have him crazy, like super articulated. I was kind of wishing too they kind of gave us a wired cape, because I did want to get a pose where he's kind of like coming down on top of the SWAT guy, and I wanted to have the cape open like the Batwing almost. And unfortunately, that's not an option. It would have been cool if they gave us like a second cape that had the wiring in it. That would have been nice touch for them, And the fact that you can't really get the cape or wrapping around them and get that iconic Batman look, that's another negative. So just be warned. Now you know what you're getting yourself into if you get this figure. But like I said, it does look beautiful. So I hope you enjoyed this review. I did put a lot of work into this, a lot of frustration with those batteries, and that's part of the what took so long for this review. I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you ladies enjoyed it too. And if you did, please hit that like, subscribe button, click the bell notification. And as always, collectors, keep collecting, stay safe, be good, dale.